Alright guys, let's just do a real quick conversation about doctors and why I would never, ever want to be a doctor. So, other than the fact, or really just a provider in general, other than the fact that they go to a tremendous amount of school, I only have a community college degree. They have multiple university degrees, an undergrad and then a graduate degree, in order to get to where they're going. That's not really why I would never be a provider. Maybe the only reason why I would possibly be a provider is the amount of income that they bring in. But I would never be a provider because of the things that they have to do, and they have to rely on so many different people to kind of tell them the whole truth, if that makes sense. Let me be a little bit more clear as to why this reason, the whole truth as to what I'm talking about here. If you have a patient that comes in and they have all the signs and symptoms of, let's just say high blood pressure, and they tell you, yeah, I eat right and all these different things, and I don't know why my blood pressure's high, this and that and the other, and then what they're not telling you is that they eat 4 cans of beanies and weenies for breakfast, 8 cans of beanies and weenies for lunch, 10 cans of beanies and weenies for supper. Now, you're not really going to live very long, eating that sort of diet anyways, but they tell you they eat. Well, you go ahead and prescribe them all kinds of meds, and all of a sudden they say, oh, my blood pressure still hasn't gone down. Well, have you changed anything? No, I just started taking the meds and I still eat good. They're not telling you the whole truth. They're not telling you what they eat. And of course, as a provider, you should probably ask them, what do you eat every day? But that's just a very small, very, very tiny percentage of what you're not hearing from people. And as a provider, you have to figure out the entire truth, the whole truth from the patients. And not only that, but you also have to trust that your nursing staff that is doing these orders that you're providing, that you're sending out, you have to trust that your nursing staff is, 1, doing the orders, 2, doing them correctly, and 3, reporting off any sort of side effects or adverse events, or even, sentinel events, or things that, just like a blood pressure, you have a CNA that takes the blood pressure and all of a sudden it's 198/101 that wasn't reported to the nurse, that wasn't then reported to the provider. That those things kind of go missed. Now, yes, they're in the chart and a provider needs to look through the chart. However, some things get missed, especially if they're not reported off. I could not trust enough people to really do that job. As bad as that sounds, I couldn't have my name on something not knowing full well what's going on. The nurses, of course, we report off to each other what we've done, the shift before or the day before, whatever it may be. And as we report off, we try to be as truthful as possible with each other. However, things do get missed, and if you're a provider, you have to catch those things that are missed, or you have to sort of know what was missed or why things were missed. I've seen very, very, very simple observations that were made by one nurse not get reported to another nurse, and then all of a sudden you have a catastrophic event because that very simple event was not reported off. It could be something as simple as the patient reporting that they have really, really dark duties, black stool or whatever it may be. And one nurse says, oh, okay, you told me that you have black stool. And then all of a sudden, they get busy or whatever reason, they don't report off, to the next nurse, the patient reported black stool. And then the next nurse misses it because they didn't even know. And of course the provider is going to miss it. And then all of a sudden you have a terrible GI bleed, which could happen. And the provider then now has to play catch up when something could have been done earlier had the provider known about it. And so you have to know the whole truth of everything that's going on, and then you have to keep up with the whole truth if you're a provider. You have to remember all this stuff, and you have to be intelligent enough to order what you need ordered, and I just don't have the cognitive ability to, one, trust everyone, and two, remember everything, and three, order the correct order. And I just don't trust myself enough to take care of people as a provider. Now, as a nurse, I'm accountable for this cat, and that's how I like it. I like being responsible for myself. I like having to know what I have to do to make it through the day, to get everybody to make it through the day, and that's what I like. But if, you know, I'm now relying on other people, and, you know, of course there are other people that I rely on, but if I have to rely on other people to make very big decisions in that way, I just don't think I could do it. I just don't think I could ever be a provider. I don't think I have the cognitive ability, and I just don't think I can trust everyone else, to be honest with you, with it. Let me know how you feel. You know, I know a lot of people want to go to be NPs, especially the nurses, you know, because of the pay rate increase. But I just don't. I don't trust myself enough, and I don't trust not knowing what to do enough. You know, let me know if you feel that you could be a provider, or if you don't feel like you could be a provider, and why not. You know, I just don't. It's something I could not do. I couldn't do it. But I hope it helps. If you like this video, check that one out over there, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe somewhere in that direction. Hope it helps. Thank you much.